After a propane shortage last winter, it's important to know what caused it and how to avoid it again this winter. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the chairman of the Michigan Public Service Commission, John Quackenbush. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Most of us here in Michigan probably didn't realize there was a propane shortage because only about, 9% or so of people in our state use propane to heat their homes?
Yes, 9% of the households in Michigan, yes.
And so what did those folks do then this past winter when the polar vortex hit us hard and they began to experience a propane shortage?
Well, we had the polar vortex, but even before that, we started the season with a low inventory because of the agricultural demand for drying crops across the Midwest happened first. Then the heating season started early, and we had also transportation challenges in moving propane into the Midwest and Michigan. So those customers were scrambling. There was a price spike, and so those customers that had an early fill and had locked in a price weren't impacted as much as those who hadn't taken those precautionary measures.
So we've lived through last winter. They have suffered and learned their lesson, right? So hopefully everybody's getting an early fill and locking in their prices now. Are we expecting another shortage of propane going into this next winter?
Well, it's really hard to tell because the weather is causing the challenges, and we don't know what the weather is going to bring, but we want to be prepared. We want to we definitely want to be prepared this year.
And so folks, should they be, if you are heating your home with propane, I don't know anything about propane versus natural gas or that type of thing, but certainly folks who have been using propane do know they can fill up their tanks early and they are able to lock in a price now?
Yes, we're trying to help that be known, and there's a competitive propane marketplace, so they can contact a number of different providers and get different quotes from different propane providers.
Is it perhaps time, has the situation gotten perhaps bad enough where those folks should they be starting to think about switching over to natural gas or some other source of heat?
Well, our natural gas utilities have programs in place to encourage that to happen. It can happen in a few targeted areas. You know, the propane customers tend to be in the more rural parts of Michigan, so where it's economic, the gas utilities are trying to expand their natural gas systems so propane customers can convert over economically.
So some folks may be able to do that, but there's going to be a small percentage that are still going to be forced, if you will, and reliant on propane this winter. For the rest of the 90% of the state that heat their homes with natural gas, what can we expect those prices to look like this winter? Do we know yet?
Well, it's hard to tell. You know, we did use a lot of natural gas last winter.
I know I did.
We have great storage fields in Michigan for gas, so we've been spending the summer in Michigan filling those storage fields with pipeline supply as well as production in Michigan. So we hope to start the heating season this year with storage full of natural gas, and again, the demand will be created or be a result of the weather. And so, you know, we had a very harsh one that we made it through just fine this past year.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm still recuperating from last winter, but I, like you, and I'm sure the rest of Michigan, are hoping that Mother Nature is a little kinder to us this year. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
For more information on today's topic, you can visit a special website. It is michigan.gov/propane. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was John Quackenbush, the chairman of the MPSC.